that I have to meet this man and I have to interview him because he has things to tell me. We're talking Brett Boles. Brett, why should I know you?
That's a great question. I don't know if anybody's ever asked me that question before. Well, I run a TikTok series called the MT, which basically is a series where I spill the tea on why certain musical theater songs work so well from a songwriter's perspective. So we've got about 90, almost 95,000 followers on TikTok right now, which is more than I ever
Wow.
thought I would ever have. So it's been fun trying to inform people about why they're moved by the songs that they listen to. What is it about the music and about the craft of the composition and the lyrics that make songs work the way they work.
And what is your background in this?
I have a degree in music composition. I'm a member of the BMI Musical Theater Workshop in New York, and I'm also a teacher, public school teacher. I teach choir, grade 9 through 12, high school, and I've been a music director, performer, director, you name it. So all things theater, aside from dance. Don't ask me to do that, but yeah, anything else. Yeah,
You also compose?
I do. Yep. I'm a songwriter. Yep.
And what have we heard of your songs?
You probably, unless you've Googled me, you probably haven't heard anything. Have I wrote the book and lyrics to a Benjamin Button adaptation, which was in London for a showcase a couple of years ago, and off Broadway for a little while at the York Theater in Manhattan. I had my first big musical, Forever Man, was in the New York Musical Theater Festival when that was still a thing back in the day. And I've written some standalone stuff that like the Broadway original Broadway Matilda sang at 54 Below, and so my stuff's been around, but not like there hasn't been like a huge Broadway show or anything of my material at this point.
No, the reason I ask is because I'm normally really up on up and coming songwriters.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, new one I haven't heard. I can't wait.
Gotcha. Yep.
Um, what songwriters move you?
Um, so that's a great question. I love Ahrens and Flaherty. I
Mm.
just think their craft is just impeccable. Ragtime is my favorite musical of all time. So I love the two of them. I mean, I can't not say Sondheim because he's just, when it comes to lyric writing especially, I mean, he's
The
the best
master.
there is. Yeah. Um, and Sunday in the Park is one of my favorite shows. So I admire him like, you know, he's he's a god. Um, I love
You
Stephen
can't
Schwartz.
mention you can't mention Sondheim without mentioning Paul Giamatti.
Well, of course, yeah, my God, of course. I mean, yeah, all the work they've done together, brilliant. And Alan Menken. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good Alan Menken tune? Single-handedly,
You,
with Howard Ashman, built the Disney empire. So
you mentioned Stephen Schwartz before I
yeah,
cut you off, which I'm sorry.
no, go
Um,
ahead.
what are the up and coming songwriters that you are looking at?
Well, that's an interesting question too. I actually just did an episode of the MT on Monday, uh, spotlighting one of my colleagues in the BMI workshop, Tim Huang, who wrote a musical called American Morning, which won the Richard Rogers Award a few years back. He's a great writer. Kerrigan and Loudermilk, I think, are great writers whose stuff doesn't get enough um, notoriety, I think. Those guys are great. I mean, not necessarily up and coming at this point, but my friend Michael Mott is a terrific songwriter. I love the stuff that he writes. Um, so yeah, that's a few at least.
So, what do you makes a good song?
So if we're talking musical theater, I think a good musical theater tune has to take you on a character's journey from some point A to some different place at the end. Um, Perfect rhymes, with some exceptions, because they draw your ear to a lyric in a way that an imperfect rhyme doesn't. I think, and what I talk about a lot in the episodes of the MT is when there's really great marriage of music and lyrics, when there's text painting going on, when the music is kind of informing you about some truth that maybe the text is hiding from you. It happens a lot in Dear Evan Hansen. There's a lot of musical thematic material that tells a truth underneath a lie that Evan is telling. So I
Right.
love when there are those little musical tricks going on that sort of hack your emotions underneath what the text is telling you. So all that stuff put together, I think, makes a really great tune.
What would be your favorite tunes right now?
Right now, well, my favorite song of all time is "Finishing the Hat." Um, I absolutely adore that song, mostly because, well, the craft of it is impeccable, but I think also as an artist, I am drawn to how that song sort of captures the the creator's viewpoint and
Mm.
perspective, and I love the way that Sondheim uses these little musical
Yeah.
motives, this little 5 note motive, finishing the hat, and how he keeps coming back to that as though it's like this obsessive thing that the artist is always obsessing over this one thing that he never can really finish. And to me, that melody sort of encapsulates that idea as George keeps coming back to it. So I love the way the music and the lyrics are paired in that. Um, Make Them Hear You is a favorite of mine. Again, ragtime, like that's that tune just, ugh, God, it just puts me over the edge. It's so good. And I love I'm switching gears to like to Disney stuff, as I'm a
Right.
huge Disney fan too. I love anything and everything from that Hunchback of Notre Dame score. I think that's some of
Oh,
Alan's
I love it
work.
for.
Oh, it's so good. I think it's some of both of their finest work. And I mean, and Steven has been known to say he thinks that's Alan's best musical work, and I tend to agree with him. And I love like Out There. That song is like one of my favorites to
Oh,
sing. It's one of my favorites. Oh, I love it. And as an I Want song, it just is it's perfect. And Part of Your World, gah, and to think that song was almost cut from The Little Mermaid, it's unbelievable. But yeah, anyway, I could go on for hours.
they say that eyes are the windows of the soul, but I think that songs are.
Mm.
What song or cycle of songs describes who you are?
Ooh, wow. I think I think strangely, maybe not so strangely, I think the songs that I'm drawn to, the songs that are my favorite songs, I think paint a pretty good picture of who I am. I think I was just talking about Out There, right? Like I always felt like growing up, and sometimes even still now, I always kind of feel like I'm, looking out at the world and not quite able to, get out there. And it's there are some similarities also between that and Waving Through a Window. I think there's some similarities between Quasi's character there and between Evan's character and Dear Evan Hansen. I love that tune too. Um, and obviously we talked about Finishing the Hat. I think that song pretty much captures my existence as an artist and how uh, navigation of personal relationships sometimes can be challenging because of the way the art kind of sucks you in. So that's something I'm always
Right.
balancing in my life. And I find myself drawn more and more to songs about fathers and sons. I have 2 boys, so
Uh,
I'm very much drawn
so do
to
you sing songs like My Father's Hands or the
oh,
songs from Closer Than Ever?
gorgeous. And what's that song? The be, song the Utah. Oh my
My
gosh,
Father's Hands.
is that the one? Is that
Piano is my
the
soul. I sit and wonder as he plays show
Oh
tunes.
no, not that one. Yes. That's the one.
Father's
Yes,
Hands.
that's the one. And I think about my dad when I listen to that. So that's yeah, yes, yep, absolutely.
I'm a big musical theater person.
Yes.
I can name that song in 3 notes. Um, no, I really can. Uh, what do you think makes TikTok so successful right now?
uh, the uh, the 60-second time limit, and it almost pains me that that's the case because I think a lot of people just they want their quick 60-second or shorter hit of something before they move on to the next thing. But that was why I was drawn to the platform because I teach high school students who are all on TikTok. Well, not all of them, but most of them are. And that was it was the way I thought I could reach the most people and educate the most people about this was by giving them something really energetic and really informative in a short amount of time that would open their ears to listening to music in a new way. And then if they were really interested, they can follow me on my Patreon, where I do extended episodes, and sometimes I put them on Instagram as well. So there are other mediums where I'm able to give longer content, longer form content, because I think a lot of the songs really deserve that. But it's been really successful at capturing people's attention and teaching them something really, really quick that they never knew before.
Now, I have to admit that even though TikTok is such a phenomenon, I have never gone on. I mean, I've had other people write about it. I've had people talk about it, and we definitely put up the Ratatouille that went up.
Yep.
But you only have 60 seconds to tell somebody something?
Yeah, at most. Yeah. I never, ever would have even made a TikTok account if I hadn't had this idea of reaching people this way. And I don't scroll through it or anything. I create my content. I interact with the people who are my followers and who interact with me, but I don't use it to discover content, really. People send me stuff sometimes, but I know that if I start scrolling, I'll get sucked into it. So I don't do that. But it's a really effective way of reaching people right now. So
How much research do you put in for each 60-second slot?
it depends on the song and how well I know it, or how much time I've spent with it, living with it prior to the episode. So most of the time, at least when I first started, I kept a running list of, and I still do, a running list of requests from followers who wanted certain things. And then I would, since I don't have much time during the day to record these things, I pretty much use my breaks in the school day when I don't have kids on a period. I'll go into the choir room and record something, or right after school before I go home. So I would just take something out that I thought I could find an angle on quickly. I'd look at it for 5 minutes, maybe less, and then quickly go and spend 10-15 minutes recording the episode, and that would be it. Now since I have theme days of the week now, which was my co-producer Rob's idea, which is a great idea. So now we can sort of plan our week at least maybe 4 or 5 days in advance, and I try to like Mondays, I try to make my day to record almost all the episodes for the week on Monday afternoons. And then so I put a little bit more time into it now on those Mondays when I record, and sometimes over the weekend, but not a whole lot of time.
Would you be mad at me? Would you be mad at me if I asked you to improv a 60-second version?
No, not at all. All right. So normally I would start with my intro, which is, hello and welcome to the MT, a series where I spill the tea on why certain musical theater songs work so well, all from a songwriter's perspective. Today we are looking at How Glory Goes from Floyd Collins. So gorgeous. One thing that I love about this accompaniment underneath is, so he's singing about what heaven is going to be like, right? And it's kind of this idea of transition between life and death. And the accompaniment that we get here is it's hard to kind of tell where do is. It's hard to tell where home is. It's kind of this misty, foggy kind of, we don't know exactly where we are. And the melody doesn't even really give you much sense of that either. Is it warm? Is it soft against your face? Do you feel the kind of grace inside the breeze? So it's kind of amorphous, and you don't really know exactly where you are, which is great text painting, because that's exactly kind of what he's singing about. He doesn't know. He's wondering what heaven is going to be like. And there's this great moment where he sings, towards the end, he sings about, will his mama be there? So he sings, will my mama be there waiting for me, smiling like the way she does and holding out her arms? And then he sings, as she calls my name. And it's this great like lift into head voice, as almost as if she's somewhere above him. It's just this great melodic writing. And when he sings about heaven towards the end, and he sings, only heaven knows how glory goes. And again, the heaven being such an upper part of the register is smart writing, and it's purposeful writing. Composers do this for a reason. They think about these things. Anyway, it's a terrific song. That, my friends, is the MT.
I love this. This was fabulous.
That's the kind of
you made no, but if I didn't know this song, I'd want to know it. Now, when can they catch you?
I post an episode every day, so a 60-second episode every day on TikTok at Brett Bowles, and then Instagram is at the Brett Bowles. Again, I always post everything there too. It's sometimes longer content as well.
And are you working on anything else that we should know of?
I am currently working on a musical based on something I did called the Well Songs Project with a friend of mine who is an occupational therapist and also an actor. And it's a musical that deals with families and children with special needs. So that's something we just, there's been an album that came out a couple of months ago from a concert we did back in, well, it was about probably 3 years ago, but we finally recorded an album. So Kate Baldwin sings one of my tunes on there, and a few other people. So that's really cool. So that's the next big thing that I'm working on.
And is there anything that I haven't asked you that we should know?
I don't think so. I think that pretty well covered what I do. So
Well, you heard it here, and you've now learned some more about musical theater. Tune back in, and we've been with Brett Bowles. Thank you.